Alright, so let's see how to remove and replace the power steering pump from this Mercedes E-Class from W210 generation. Now the most common symptom of a bad power steering pump is when you turn the steering wheel while the engine is on, you're gonna hear a lot of squeaking noise and rattling noise from the power steering pump. So it's important to check even before you take out the power steering pump or buying a new one or a used one. So let's do that right now. Let's take out the first cover and the second one. So I'm going to actually take out this radiator because it gives me a lot more working space in here. So with a screwdriver or something, just pull out these clips. You've got two of them. Down here you've got the connector, just unplug it. And now you're going to be able to take out the fan. With a 7mm, I'm going to take out as well this coolant hose. Now in my situation I already removed the coolant. Let's also disconnect this vacuum hose from the pump. Next, let's remove this intake hose. You've got a C-clip in here, so just pull it out like that. And the intake hose should come out as well. In my situation I cut it, but I will tell you in another video why. Now on top of the power steering pump, we've got the AGR valve, which needs to be removed. And by the way, if you want, go ahead and check out the video I made about the AGR valve. It's quite interesting. Let's see this bolt on the bottom here. So if you have a look from this side, you can see it a lot better. Now the AGR valve will come out. Here is the vacuum line for it. Next, it's time to release the serpentine belt. So for that, you're gonna need a 12.17mm socket, or you can just force in there an 18mm socket. And the belt is off. Now you can freely spin the pulley and check it up for any slack or if it moves hard. Now down here we've got the hose clamp for this hose which comes from the reservoir. So I'm gonna take it out. I've got this special tool. It's very handy actually. As you can see, once I press on here, the hose clamp is released. One of these hooks will be very helpful to release hoses. Just like that. Now it looks like we gotta take out the reservoir as well in order to pull up this hose from here. One more here. And deep here you're gonna see another E10. With a magnet like this, you can easily retrieve it. And the reservoir is free now. So you can actually remove it from here if you want to. I just want to make a little bit more working space. Now as you can see, the return line is connected to the reservoir, which means that on the pump we're gonna have only the delivery line, the output line which goes to the power steering rack. And by the way, you can check out how I remove the power steering rack. You can find useful information in there if you work on your power steering system on these cars. Now in order to take out this line from the pump, you need a 17mm wrench. And in order for me to fit it in here, I gotta take out the pulley. It's a good idea that before you remove the belt, if you don't have a power tool like this, leave the belt on and then with the E12 remove these 3 bolts, because you need something to hold the pulley on while you remove the bolts, and the belt can be the perfect thing. However, if you have a power tool, it's gonna be a lot easier. Just put your socket in there and the impact gun will do the job for you. Now with a rubber hammer or something soft you have, just give a couple of taps on the pulley. Now let's remove the line as well. So from this point you can expect some fluid to come out. You can actually expect fluid to come out once you remove this hose from here. You can have a small recipient like that. Just place it under the hose. And here it comes. The line is out. And the last step is to remove these 2 E12 bolts, and you've got one more back here, which is kind of hard to see, but you can feel it with your finger. Okay, so I had to put my socket inside there. to release this bolt. They come out quite easy because they are soaked in oil. You can see the threads have a lot of oil on them. Okay, here is the pump. So this is the part number if you need it. Alright, so from this point, let's say that you got a new pump. The installation is the reverse process. I'm gonna speed up from this point because there is no point to show you how to tighten some bolts. Just make sure that you torque them down properly because these are gonna be under a lot of stress over time. So you gotta torque it to 25 Newton meters. This one you can just tighten it by hand, make it snug in there like that. It's very important that this side is sealed because otherwise you're gonna lose pressure, you're gonna lose boost from the turbocharger. Make sure from this point that you do not have a lot of oil on your hands. Okay, so this is the setup. It is actually surprisingly easy to install this belt, considering that it's a very long one. It's like 2.5 meters or something. Okay, so this job is done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and clean my hands. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos about this Mercedes, there is gonna be a link in the description below with the playlist. Also, if you want to really help me out, click that subscribe button as well. In the future, I'm gonna make a lot more in detail videos about how to fix the engine, diagnose different issues, and I want to present you the hybrid technology, which is gonna be a lot more used in the future. So stay tuned and I'll see you soon.